Hi everyone, welcome to Bad Barry's Bar for another couple of jokes which I think may interest you. Today I'm going to talk about parrots. Birds of a feather stick together. Well, this one concerns a lady and she lost her bird. So she went to the pet shop and she wanted to buy a parrot. And the guy said, okay, so I've got a parrot here. He said, it's a real good talking parrot, this one. She said, well, that's what I need. I live on my own. I'd like someone that can, be a companion to me. He said, well, this parrot will be really great. So she bought the parrot. You see, she took it out, put it in the car, and she started to drive home. When all of a sudden the parrot turned to her and said, if you give me a big kiss, I will turn into a handsome prince. So she slowed the car down, you see. She looked, he said, yes, if you give me a kiss, I will turn into a really handsome prince. You will be delighted. She thought, well, what have I got to lose? So she pulled into a lay-by, you see, and she gave the parrot a big kiss, and poof, this parrot turned into a really good-looking guy sitting next to her. He said, there you are. I said, I told you, didn't I? So he said, I told you I would turn into a prince. So what did she turn into? She turned into the first motel she came to. I mean, she was old, but she wasn't dead. So much for a parrot, huh? Well, the other parrot story I wanted to tell you concerned a cruise ship. And on the cruise ship there was a magician, and every couple of nights he would give a great show doing all these tricks. But the captain had a parrot, and this parrot would always come into the lounge where he was doing his tricks. And whatever the magician did, this parrot would say, oh, he's got it up his sleeve, he's got it in his hat, he's hidden it behind his back. He would try and give all the jokes away, and this magician could kill this damn parrot for all this. But it was a captain's parrot, so he couldn't do much about it. Well, one day their ship hit an iceberg and the ship went down. And it ended up there was a lifeboat with a magician in it and just the parrot. Well, they sat at each end of the boat and they floated away for 2 days. Nothing happened. Parrot said nothing, magician said nothing. And eventually the parrot looked at the magician and said, all right, I give up. What did you do with the ship? Talking of old ladies and parrots, there was another old lady and she had a lovely parrot. She'd had him for years. He used to talk, he could do all sorts of things, he could recite poetry, and he died. She thought, oh gosh, how am I ever going to replace him? So she went to the pet shop and she said, I want a talking parrot, but I want a parrot that's got a good vocabulary and that there's going to be a companion. And the pet owner said, pet shop owner said, well, he said, I don't have it, so I've only got one parrot. He said, parrots are hard to come by. There seems to have been a rush on them. Everybody seems to want a talking parrot. He said, now the only parrot I got is a beautiful bird. It's healthy, it's young, it's only 20 years old. It's got another 80 years of life in it. But I've got to tell you, it was brought up in a brothel. So sometimes, its language is not what you might want to hear, but it's the only parrot I've got. She thought, well, I really do need a companion. She said, well, all right, I'll take it. I hope it just isn't, this language is not too bad. So she bought the parrot, she took it home, you see. Well, this old parrot had some bad language, and it used to say, hello boys, good to see you. You want a good time tonight? Glad you came here. Hello lads, you ready for a good time? You come to the right place. So she's really fed up with this. So one day the vicar came round, you see. And she said, look, I've got this parrot, but it uses terrible language. It was brought up in a brothel. She said, it's embarrassing. I can't have it around when anybody comes in the place. The clergyman said, don't worry. He said, I've got 2 parrots at home. He said, they were brought up with me. They're very, very religious. And I'm sure if you brought it in and left her with me for a few weeks, they would teach her, some religious stuff and get rid of all this brothel language. So she said, all right, vicar, that sounds really good. So the old vicar took the parrot, she took it home, put it in the lounge with the other 2 parrots. And she said, hello boys, how you doing? Do you want a good time? Hey, I'm here. Do you want a great time, lads? And one parrot said to the other one, he said, okay, Rasta, he said, get up off your knees, our prayers have been answered. Okay, well, I'm not going to repeat myself like parrots do, but thanks for looking in. And remember, if you've got any jokes yourself, you can email them in to me, badbarrysbar@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. Or if you have any comments, to make a change, I will try and do my best to please you. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you again. Bye.